Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going deep on something pretty interesting today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's about the fallout from Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor
Oh, wow. Okay.
in Batman v Superman.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
We've got some podcast excerpts and articles
Interesting.
to sort of see how this role, how it impacted his career
I see.
and how he's kind of navigated all that.
It's a big one to take on, right? I mean,
Yeah.
especially with the superhero
Yeah.
genre, the fans and everything.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
right out of the gate,
Yeah.
Eisenberg himself has been pretty candid.
Oh, really?
He even said in a recent podcast interview that the role
Oh, wow.
hurt my career in a real way.
Oh, geez.
He actually said that.
Wow.
And, he talked about all the pressure
Right.
of being in such a high-profile movie and how the less than stellar
Yeah.
reception felt like a weight on his shoulders.
Yeah, you really feel for these actors sometimes,
Yeah.
especially in these
Oh.
big franchise films. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
These roles can just completely define
Yeah.
their careers.
Oh, yeah.
And the scrutiny, oh my gosh, with social media and everything,
I know.
it can be immense.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a few bad tweets, right? We're talking about the Razzies here.
Oh, yeah, the Raz.
I'm worst supporting actor for Eisenberg. And Batman v Superman got a few more.
Yeah, a few more.
And, the Razzies, while
Yeah.
they can be kind of presented as a joke,
Lighthearted.
yeah, they really do reflect a certain part of
Public opinion, for sure.
public opinion.
Yeah, and that can definitely have a ripple effect throughout Hollywood.
Yeah,
I mean, casting directors,
Uh-huh.
producers, they're paying attention.
they are.
They're watching.
Okay, but here's the thing that really, got me right.
Yeah.
The film itself, it was a box office smash.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, over $873 million globally.
Wow.
Even Ben Affleck, who played Batman, called it his biggest hit,
Mhm.
while acknowledging, and I'm quoting here, the editorial negativity
Right, yeah.
surrounding the film. That was kind of surprising to hear, right?
Yeah, how do you reconcile those two things, like the financial success with such
Yeah.
a mixed response?
Yeah, how do you reconcile that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good question. It really gets to the heart of how success
Yeah.
defined in Hollywood.
Right.
Box office numbers are definitely one thing,
Sure.
but then there's critical acclaim, awards,
Yeah.
cultural impact. All these things factor in.
Yeah.
A film can totally be a financial success
Yeah.
and still be considered a critical flop,
Totally.
and vice versa too.
I see what you mean. So for Eisenberg, I mean, he's talented.
Oh, yeah.
How does navigating those conflicting reactions, how does that play out?
Well, it creates this, complicated narrative
Yeah.
because he's associated with this blockbuster film, which can open doors.
Yeah.
But then at the same time,
Right.
there's that potential for negativity to
Right.
make people hesitant.
Oh, yeah.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Perception versus opportunity.
Right, right.
It's a tough spot to be in for
Yeah.
sure.
I was struck by something else Eisenberg said. He mentioned feeling like he needed to prove himself all over again.
Oh, wow.
Which, it really speaks to the idea that a single role, even a really commercially successful one, can make you feel like you got to redefine yourself
Oh, yeah.
for the industry.
It's like that perceived misstep,
Yeah.
even though it was part of this huge project, this successful project.
Right, right.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, okay. Now, we can't ignore this,
Yeah.
that Zack Snyder had considered other big names for this role.
Like who?
Like Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh, wow.
Tom Hanks,
Okay.
even Adam Driver.
Interesting.
I'm just imagining, DiCaprio in this role, especially since Snyder mentioned him having great ideas for the character.
Right.
What do you think about that? How different could it have been?
Casting is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
it really can completely change a film. The tone, the energy,
Oh, yeah.
how it's received. DiCaprio, I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
He brings this intensity, this depth
Yeah.
to all his roles. Imagine him as Lex Luthor. It could have added a whole new
Oh, totally.
layer to the character.
I completely agree. I mean, DiCaprio is known for those, transformative performances.
Exactly. He just has this ability to hold your attention
Yeah.
and make you believe in the character's inner turmoil.
Totally.
Think about him in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, yeah.
There's that volatility, that darkness.
Yeah.
That could have been really interesting
Oh, totally.
as Lex Luthor.
It makes me wonder if, some of the pushback Eisenberg got was
Yeah.
because of how the character was written or
Yeah.
directed,
Oh, absolutely.
not
Well,
just his performance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a film's success
Right.
or lack of success,
Mhm.
it's never really just one thing, is it?
Yeah.
It's the script, the direction, the
Yeah.
acting, the editing, everything.
Right, right.
It all comes together.
It's like a recipe, you know? You get one ingredient wrong
The
and
whole thing's off.
the whole thing is off.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
It highlights how complex this whole process can be, especially with a production like Batman v Superman.
right. So even with DiCaprio's talent, even with those great ideas,
Right?
as Snyder put it, there's still no guarantee,
That's
right?
no guarantee.
That it would been like universally loved.
No, filmmaking is a collaboration.
Right.
You know?
Right.
There are so many variables.
Right.
It's impossible to say for sure
Absolutely. Totally.
how audiences and critics would have responded.
It really makes you think about like how much goes into it all
Oh, yeah.
to make a film
It's massive.
that resonates.
Yeah, and it reminds us that even with all the planning,
Yeah.
the best intentions, there's still that element of unpredictability
Totally.
that you just can't control.
Well, I think we've done a pretty good job setting the stage here.
Yeah, definitely.
We've talked about the pressure from fans, the impact of reviews,
Right.
and even like the what ifs of those casting choices.
Yeah, this is great. There's so much more to unpack, though,
Oh, there is.
about the impact of this role on Eisenberg's career
Oh, for sure.
and, the bigger context of everything.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll be right back to keep diving into the fallout from Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
So before the break, we were talking about DiCaprio, like
Right.
how his casting could have actually, changed how people saw Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
You think he really could have altered the, the whole narrative of the film?
I mean, it's an interesting thought, right?
Yeah.
DiCaprio has that charisma,
Yeah.
but also that intensity,
Yeah.
which I think could have really changed how the audience saw the whole thing.
Right.
Think about how he plays, those deeply flawed characters, like
Yeah.
in Wolf of Wall Street.
Right. Jordan Belfort.
Exactly. There's a darkness there that could have been so compelling for Lex.
Yeah, I can see it. That intensity.
Right. It definitely adds something.
It adds a layer.
But couldn't you also say that just DiCaprio being DiCaprio,
Yeah,
his star power could have, overshadowed the rest of the film?
it's possible. I mean, he could have elevated some things.
Right.
But, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
a film is a collaborative effort, right?
Yeah.
A great performance can help,
Yeah.
but it can't fix
Right.
everything.
Right. Right.
If there are problems with the script or the direction.
Right. It's about that balance.
Yeah, finding that
The
balance.
individual and then the whole film.
Exactly.
Okay, well, speaking of direction, we can't forget about Zack Snyder.
Oh, right.
I mean, what do you think about
Oh, yeah, his vision.
his vision, for this film? How much do you think that played into how people reacted to it?
Well, Snyder definitely has his, signature style, right?
Oh, yeah.
That visual style
Mm-hmm.
and his kind of darker take on these superheroes.
Yeah, and some critics love it.
Oh, they love it.
And some say it's, too much or maybe lacking depth.
Right. He's a bit polarizing.
He is.
I mean, some people think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Some people are just not into it.
Yeah.
And with Batman v Superman, it's probably a combo of his style,
Yeah.
the script, the acting that led to,
The mixed bag.
the mixed reactions.
It's like a perfect storm of stuff.
It is. It is.
All coming together, and it makes you think about superhero movies in general.
Oh, yeah.
They're so big now, but it feels like the stakes are just,
So high.
so high.
Yeah, they've become these cultural events.
Yeah.
There's this weight of expectation that you don't see in other genres.
Right.
And with that comes the intense scrutiny.
Oh, yeah.
Audiences are so invested in these characters, in these stories,
Yeah.
and they're not shy about sharing their opinions,
They're not.
good or bad.
Let's be honest, these movies are more than just entertainment, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're in our culture, in our fashion, in our toys. I mean, they even show up in political discussions.
They do.
Yeah.
So when a movie doesn't live up to it.
Oh, the disappointment is huge.
Yeah.
And that passionate fan base,
Right.
it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
It can bring in tons of money, create these amazing communities,
Right.
but it puts so much pressure on filmmakers
Right, to deliver.
to get it right because people are watching every single decision
Yeah, they are.
and dissecting everything.
It's like walking through a minefield, honestly.
It is. It is.
So thinking about Eisenberg again,
Yeah.
knowing how this role has, kind of affected his career,
Right.
do you think he regrets it?
Oh, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
Only he knows for sure.
Right.
I mean, he has talked about the negative impact,
Yeah.
But he's also said he respects Snyder's vision,
Right.
that he appreciated the role.
Right. So it's like he's
finding the balance,
yeah,
acknowledging the challenges, but still,
appreciating it.
yeah, appreciating the experience.
And his career hasn't stopped.
No, not at all.
He's still working, doing different things, showing he's versatile.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about the business side of things.
Okay.
We know Batman v Superman made money,
Oh, yeah.
but, not everyone loved it.
Right.
How does that affect an actor's career?
It's complicated, right?
Yeah.
A box office hit
Yeah.
that can really boost an actor's profile,
Right.
get them bigger roles.
Yeah.
But if it gets bad reviews or audiences don't like it,
Right.
it can create this,
Image problem.
yeah, this perception problem.
So it's not just about the money.
No, not just the money.
Yeah.
Hollywood runs on money, yes.
Right.
But also artistic recognition.
Right.
An actor who can do both.
Yeah.
Those are the ones who have the long careers.
That makes sense. So someone like Affleck, who's had both.
Right, Affleck's done it all.
Yeah, the hits and the critical acclaim.
Exactly.
That probably gives him more leverage,
That's
right?
there for sure.
Than someone who's only had one or the other.
He can pick and choose his projects.
Right.
Negotiate better deals.
He's proven himself.
Exactly. He's proven himself.
But what about Eisenberg? I mean, he's had the highs, like Social Network,
Yeah, an Oscar nominee.
and then the lows of this big film that didn't quite,
Right, it didn't quite work.
How does that shape his career?
Well, it becomes about managing perception,
Yeah.
choosing the right roles,
Right.
working with directors who can bring out his strengths,
Right.
finding projects that appeal to everyone,
Right. Showing that he's more than just this one
or
character.
rebuilding that reputation.
Yeah, it sounds kind of precarious.
It is. It's like walking a tightrope.
Hollywood is a business, right? And actors are brands.
Exactly. Actors are brands, and you have to manage that brand.
Right.
Highlight what works, overcome the weaknesses.
So it's not just about the talent.
No, talent is the base.
Yeah.
But you got to understand the industry.
Right.
You got to play the game.
Right.
You
Yeah.
got to make smart choices.
It really is like a game, isn't
It
it?
is like a game of chess.
Every move matters.
Every move matters. There's strategy involved, skill,
Yeah.
and a little bit of luck.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the what ifs then. Snyder considered other actors.
Right.
How do you think things would have been different with, say, DiCaprio?
Oh, it's fun to imagine.
It is.
DiCaprio, he just disappears
Yeah.
into those roles,
Yeah.
He has that presence, that charisma.
Yeah.
Imagine that energy as Lex.
Right.
It could have been electric.
It could have been.
He could have brought something so different to the character.
Oh, totally.
A different kind of complexity,
Yeah.
more intrigue, more depth.
Do you think it could have, saved the movie from some of the criticism?
It's hard to say,
Yeah.
DiCaprio's incredibly talented,
Yeah.
but even he can't overcome
Right.
if there are fundamental issues with the film itself.
Right. It goes back to that,
Collaboration.
yeah, how it all works together.
Exactly. A great idea doesn't always mean a great film.
Right.
It's so hard to predict how people will react.
Totally. And even with all the planning, all the good intentions,
Right.
there's always that element of,
The unknown.
yeah, you just don't know.
We just never know.
It's a reminder that, even with the best laid plans,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
there's always going to be some uncertainty.
That's part of what makes it so interesting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All those what ifs,
Yeah.
the almost worse.
The endless possibilities.
It's fascinating. Okay, so we've talked about a lot today.
We have.
The pressures from fans, the whole Hollywood career thing.
It's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
We've looked at the balance between, making money
Yeah.
and being recognized for your art.
Right, and how to kind of roll with the punches.
How to adapt and keep going.
We got to acknowledge Eisenberg's perseverance. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, he didn't let this one thing stop him. He did.
Yeah.
He kept working. He tried new things.
We kept going.
He's committed.
He's a great example of how to handle challenges.
Yeah.
Setbacks are going to happen,
Right.
but it's how you respond that matters.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
If you were casting Lex Luthor today,
Oh, interesting.
who would you choose?
What qualities would you look for?
Yeah, and how would you, bring them to life on screen?
What kind of energy would you bring to the role?
It's a fun thought experiment, right?
It is. It is.
It shows that even in a story everyone knows,
Yeah.
there are still new ways to look at it.
New possibilities.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive.
It does.
Thanks for being with us as we explored Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor, and, all of Hollywood.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Until next time,
Keep exploring, keep questioning.
keep diving deep.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot, haven't we?
We really have.
Eisenberg as Lex Luthor,
Yeah, all the stuff that came after.
the expectations, the reviews, how Hollywood works, you know?
Yeah, the whole shebang.
But I think now it's time to think about, like, what does this mean for us?
Right, for the listeners.
Yeah, like, what can we take away from all this?
Exactly, that's the whole point, right? To learn something.
Yeah, even if we're not, big-time actors or whatever.
Right. These deep dives, they should give us something to think about.
To use in our own lives.
Exactly.
So should we do a quick recap? Like, what were the big takeaways here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so first, I think we saw how one role, especially in these huge films like superhero movies,
Right, where everyone's watching.
yeah, it can really affect an actor's whole career.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How people react, the critics, it shapes how people see them.
It all comes down to image, doesn't it?
And that's huge in Hollywood, right?
Oh, it's everything.
We also learned a lot about the business side, like,
The behind-the-scenes stuff.
yeah, just because a movie makes money,
Right, box office success.
it doesn't always mean good things for the actors.
Yeah, it's
Well, they're
comfortable.
that simple.
It takes more than just talent to make it in this industry.
And then there's Eisenberg's, like, resilience.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he didn't just give up.
No, he kept going.
He kept working, trying new things,
He showed real commitment.
And that's something we can all learn from, right?
Absolutely.
He's about how you deal with the tough stuff.
Right. The setbacks, the challenges,
Just to happen.
they happen to everyone.
It's what you do next that matters.
Exactly. You got to keep moving forward.
Okay, so as we wrap this up,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay, shoot.
If you were casting Lex Luthor today,
Okay.
who would you pick?
That's a good one.
Yeah. And why? What qualities are you looking for?
What would make them a great Lex?
Yeah. How would you bring those qualities to life on screen?
Right. Like, what would their Lex be like?
It's a fun thought experiment, right?
It is. It makes you think about the character in new ways.
Exactly. Even with the story everyone knows, there are still,
New perspectives.
yeah, new possibilities.
And that's the beauty of it, right?
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into,
Jesse Eisenberg.
yeah, Lex Luthor.
And the crazy world of Hollywood.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep diving deep.